who accomplished his task. The enlightened one bearing his final body is called a great man of great Punna. Dona. On one occasion the Lord was traveling along the highway between Ukatha and Satavya. The Brahmin Dona was also traveling along the highway between Ukatha and Satavya. The Brahmin Dona then saw the 1,000-spoked wheels of the Lord's footprints, with their rims and hubs, complete in all respects. And thought, "It is astounding and amazing. These surely could not be the footprints of a human being." Then the Lord left the highway and sat down at the foot of a tree, folding his legs crosswise, straightening his body, and establishing mindfulness in front of him. Tracking the Lord's footprints, the Brahmin Dona saw the Lord sitting at the foot of the tree. Graceful, inspiring confidence, with peaceful faculties and peaceful mind, one who had attained to the highest taming and equanimity, like a tamed and guarded bull elephant with controlled faculties. He then approached the Lord and said to him, "Could you be a Deva, sir?" "I will not be a Deva, Brahmin." "Could you be a Gandhava, sir?" "I will not be a Gandhava, Brahmin." "Could you be a Yakha, sir?" "I will not be a Yakha, Brahmin." "Could you be a human being, sir?" "I will not be a human being, Brahmin." When you are asked, "Could you be a Deva, sir?" you say, "I will not be a Deva, Brahmin." When you are asked, "Could you be a Gandhava, sir?" you say, "I will not be a Gandhava, Brahmin." When you are asked, "Could you be a Yakha, sir?" you say, "I will not be a Yakha, Brahmin." When you are asked, "Could you be a human being, sir?" you say, "I will not be a human being, Brahmin." What, then, could you be, sir? Brahmin, I have abandoned those taints because of which I might have become a Deva. I have cut them off at the root, made them like palm stumps, obliterated them so that they are no longer subject to future arising. I have abandoned those taints because of which I might have become a Gandhava, might have become a Yakha, might have become a human being. I have cut them off at the root, made them like palm stumps, obliterated them so that they are no longer subject to future arising. Just as a blue, red, or white lotus flower, though born in the water and grown up in the water, rises above the water and stands unsoiled by the water, even so, though born in the world and grown up in the world, I have overcome the world and dwell unsoiled by the world. Remember me, Brahmin, as a Buddha. I have destroyed those taints by which I might have been reborn as a Deva, or as a Gandhava that travels through the sky, by which I might have reached the state of a Yakha, or arrived back at the human state. I have dispelled and cut down these taints. As a lovely white lotus is not soiled by the water, I am not soiled by the world. Therefore, O Brahmin, I am a Buddha. Non-decline. Bhikkhus, a bhikkhu who possesses 4 qualities is incapable of decline and is in the vicinity of nibbana. What for? Here, a bhikkhu is accomplished in virtuous behavior, guards the doors of the sense faculties, observes moderation in eating, and is intent on wakefulness. And how is a bhikkhu accomplished in virtuous behavior? Here, a bhikkhu is virtuous. He dwells restrained by the Padamokha, possessed of good conduct and resort, seeing danger in minute faults. Having undertaken the training rules, he trains in them. It is in this way that a bhikkhu is accomplished in virtuous behavior. And how does a bhikkhu guard the doors of the sense faculties? Here, having seen a form with the eye, a bhikkhu does not grasp its marks and features. Since, if he left the eye faculty unrestrained, bad harmful states of longing and dejection might invade him, he practices restraint over it. He guards the eye faculty, he undertakes the restraint of the eye faculty. Having heard a sound with the ear, having smelled an odor with the nose, having tasted a taste with the tongue, Having felt a tactile object with the body. Having cognized a mental phenomenon with the mind, a bhikkhu does not grasp its marks and features. Since, if he left the mind faculty unrestrained, bad harmful states of longing and dejection might invade him, he practices restraint over it. He guards the mind faculty, he undertakes the restraint of the mind faculty. It is in this way that a bhikkhu guards the doors of the sense faculties. And how does a bhikkhu observe moderation, in eating? Here. Reflecting carefully. A bhikkhu consumes food neither for amusement nor for intoxication nor for the sake of physical beauty and attractiveness, but only for the support and maintenance of this body, for avoiding harm, and for assisting the brahmacharya, considering. Thus I shall terminate the old feeling and not arouse a new sensation, and I shall be healthy and blameless and dwell at ease. It is in this way that a bhikkhu observes moderation in eating. And how is a bhikkhu intent on wakefulness? Here, during the day, while walking back and forth and sitting, a bhikkhu purifies his mind of obstructive qualities. In the first watch of the night, while walking back and forth and sitting, he purifies his mind of obstructive qualities. In the middle watch of the night he lies down on the right side in the lion's posture, with one foot overlapping the other, mindful and completely comprehending, after noting in his mind the idea of rising. After rising, in the last watch of the night, while walking back and forth and sitting, he purifies his mind of obstructive qualities. It is in this way that a bhikkhu is intent on wakefulness. A bhikkhu who possesses these four qualities is incapable of decline and is in the vicinity of nibbana. Established in virtuous behavior. Restrained in the sense faculties. Moderate in eating. Intent on wakefulness. A bhikkhu dwells thus ardently, unwearying by day and night, developing beneficial qualities, to attain security from bondage. A bhikkhu who delights in alertfulness, seeing the danger in slothfulness, is incapable of decline. He is close to nibbana, drawn back. Bhikkhus, a bhikkhu who has dispelled personal truths, totally renounced seeking, and tranquilized bodily activity is said to have drawn back. And how, bhikkhus, has a bhikkhu dispelled personal truths? Here, whatever ordinary personal truths may be held by ordinary ascetics and Brahmins. That is, the world is eternal or the world is not eternal. The world is finite or the world is infinite. The soul and the body are the same or the soul is one thing, the body another. The Tathagata exists after death. Or the Tathagata does not exist after death, or the Tathagata both exists and does not exist after death, or the Tathagata neither exists nor does not exist after death. A bhikkhu has discarded and dispelled them all, given them up, rejected them, let go of them, abandoned and relinquished them. It is in this way that a bhikkhu has dispelled personal truths. And how has a bhikkhu totally renounced seeking? Here, a bhikkhu has abandoned the search for sensual pleasures and the search for existence and has allayed the search for a spiritual life. It is in this way that a bhikkhu has totally renounced seeking. And how has a bhikkhu tranquilized bodily activity? Here. With the abandoning of pleasure and pain. And with the previous passing away of joy act dejection, a bhikkhu enters and dwells in the fourth dhyana, neither painful nor pleasant, which has purification of mindfulness by indifference. It is in this way that a bhikkhu has tranquilized bodily activity. And how has a bhikkhu drawn back? Here, a bhikkhu has abandoned the conceit I am, cut it off at the root, made it like a palm stump, obliterated it so that it is no longer subject to future arising. It is in this way that a bhikkhu has drawn back. Bhikkhus, a bhikkhu who has dispelled personal truths, totally renounced seeking, and tranquilized bodily activity is said to have drawn back. Seeking for sense pleasures. Seeking for existence. Seeking for a brahmacharya. The tight grasp such is the truth. Viewpoints that are swellings. For one entirely detached from lust. Liberated by the destruction of craving. Such seeking has been relinquished. and viewpoints are uprooted. That peaceful, mindful bhikkhu, tranquil, undefeated, enlightened, by breaking through conceit, is called one who has drawn back. Ajayaya. Then the Brahmin Ajayaya approached the Lord and exchanged greetings with him. When they had concluded their greetings and cordial talk, he sat down to one side and said to the Lord, "Does Master Gautama praise sacrifice?" "I do not praise all sacrifice, Brahmin, nor do I withhold praise from all sacrifice. I do not praise a violent sacrifice at which cattle, goats, rams, chickens, and pigs are slain, at which various creatures are led to slaughter. For what reason? Because arahants and those who have entered the path to arahantship do not attend a violent sacrifice. But I praise a non-violent sacrifice at which cattle, goats, rams, chickens, and pigs are not slain, where various creatures are not slaughtered, that is, a regular giving, a sacrifice offered by family custom. For what reason? Because arahants and those who have entered the path to arahantship attend a non-violent sacrifice. The horse sacrifice, human sacrifice. Sammapasa, vajapeyya, niraggala. These grand sacrifices, fraught with violence, do not bring great fruit. The great seers of right conduct do not attend a sacrifice where goats, rams, cattle, and various creatures are slain. But when they regularly offer by family custom sacrifices free from violence, no goats, sheep, and cattle, or various creatures are slain. That is the sacrifice the great seers of right conduct attend. The wise person should offer this. This sacrifice is very fruitful. For one who makes such sacrifice, it is indeed better, never worse. Such a sacrifice is truly vast. And the devtas too are pleased. Udayi. Then the Brahmin Udayi approached the Lord and said to him, the prose portion is identical with that of when a sacrifice is timely and allowable, well prepared and non-violent. The self-controlled followers of the Brahmacharya attend such a sacrifice as this. Those in the world who have removed the coverings, transcenders of time and destination, the Buddhas who are proficient in sacrifice, praise this kind of sacrifice. Having prepared an appropriate gift, whether of the ordinary kind or in memory of the dead, one makes the sacrifice with a confident mind to a fertile field, to followers of the Brahmacharya. When what has been properly obtained is properly offered, properly sacrificed to those worthy of offerings, the sacrifice is vast and the devtas are pleased. The wise person endowed with faith, having sacrificed thus with a generous mind, is reborn in a happy world, in without sorrow. V. Rahitasavago. Pali versions. Pali English version and Pali Devanagari version. Meditative trance. Bhikkhus, there are these four developments of samadhi. What for? There is a development of samadhi that leads to dwelling happily in this very life. There is a development of samadhi that leads to obtaining knowledge and vision. There is a development of samadhi that leads to self-absorbed meditation and complete comprehension.